You lived through an emotional war zone. You've come out the other side and you expected freedom. You expected your life back. But instead, you got something else. Somehow, after all the chaos, the arguments, the belittling, the minimizing, which you managed to get through, you kept functioning through, looked after the children through, seeing to the narcissist's every need. You always pictured that when you got out, life would be better on the other side. Even though you went through hell getting away from them, you thought it would be freer and easier when you got out. So why now, when you finally have a good day, does it always end up crashing around you in a pit of despair, where you're second guessing your every decision, worrying whether you've upset someone, or sitting in your living room just too exhausted to watch the TV, unable to text that one person that you want to because you're petrified of the results? And everyone thinks that you're managing just fine, but nobody really knows how much you're still struggling. Nobody knows how exhausting making a call feels, how overwhelming going to the supermarket feels, how even a smile is hard work for you now. And you know what the narcissist is up to because you're being constantly updated on it. And they've moved on, they seem happy, and you're stuck in a pit of anxiety you can't seem to get out of. We haven't met before. I'm Angela Darling. I help people who have left narcissistic abuse but still feel trapped by what it involved. Because one of the biggest lies survivors are told is this: leave the relationship and you'll get back your life. But what if that hasn't happened for you? Everyone tells you getting out is the victory, as if leaving hands you back your life at the door on the way out. As if no contact magically gives you back your confidence, your peace, your energy, your future. But nobody told you this was the price. Nobody told you that you could finally be free from them and still feel like your life has been robbed. Nobody told you about sitting on holiday, realizing that you're not actually there. Your body is there, but your mind's somewhere else, because you spent the entire holiday checking your phone instead of enjoying it. Nobody told you about watching your children grow up while you're still so exhausted to just try and get through the day. Nobody told you that the life that you dreamed of having afterwards would feel so unattainable. That when you finally met somebody else who was decent, that you did enjoy being with, you ended up the relationship because being loved felt more frightening than being alone. The promotion that you didn't apply for because you'd convinced yourself that you'd fail. Nobody told you about the opportunities that would arrive at your door and that you'd still be too afraid, too overwhelmed, too exhausted to take them. Nobody told you about watching friends move forward in their relationships, in their careers, in their business, making new happy memories while you're still trying to recover from what happened years ago. Nobody told you that the narcissist could leave your life and somehow still be taking it from you. And that is the part that really hurts the most. Not just what happened, but the cost of what happened. Because eventually a horrible thought starts creeping in. Maybe everybody else would be further ahead by then. Maybe everybody else would have figured this out by now. Maybe everybody else would have moved on by now. Maybe everybody else would be happy. Then you look at your own life. The call that you never made, the course that you never took, the business that you never started, or the relationships that you sabotaged before they've even got a chance to work. The opportunities that you've convinced yourself that you weren't ready for. The years that you've spent waiting to feel stronger, waiting to feel safer, waiting to feel more like yourself. And suddenly, the loss isn't just emotional anymore, it's visible. You can see the life that you should have been living. And that's when the question changes. It's no longer, why am I still struggling? It's, how much has this actually cost me? And this is where I think survivors believe in the wrong enemy. Because the narcissist isn't the only thing that survives the relationship. For years, you think the narcissist is still the thing ruining your life. But what if they're not? What if the narcissist left years ago and something else stayed behind? Because if they're gone, why is your life still being stolen from you? Why can't you go after the opportunities that come up for you? Why is your confidence still at rock bottom, even though you've escaped an emotional war zone and should feel on top of the world for that? Despite all of this, why don't you still trust yourself? The narcissist is no longer around, so why does it feel harder than it should be? Because something is still with you. And until you identify that, you'll keep blaming yourself. And you don't realize it at the time, but there is something that follows you long after the relationship ends. Something that still expects criticism, still expects rejection, still expects disaster, still expects punishment, still acting as though the danger is lurking around every single corner. And that is what I now call the survival loop. The survival loop is the part that keeps charging you for the relationship that's already over. It's why you escape, but you still don't feel free. It's why you survive, but still don't feel safe. It's why you got away, but never really took your life back. Not because you're weak, not because you're broken, but because the narcissist may be gone, but the survival loop they left is still collecting the payment in opportunities, in relationships, in confidence, in joy, in years. And maybe that's why this hurts so much, because deep down, this was never about exhaustion. It was about looking at your life and thinking, I escaped. So why am I still the one paying? Why am I still carrying the bill? Why am I still losing years to this? How many more years are you willing to hand over to something that you've already escaped? Because you didn't survive all that just to spend the rest of your life recovering from it. You didn't fight that hard just to watch your life from the sidelines. You didn't escape the narcissist so that survival could still claim your identity. And that is why this matters. Because the moment you realize what is still taken from you is the moment that you can stop blaming yourself from it. And that moment you stop blaming yourself is the moment you finally have a chance to get your life back. If this felt like your story, I've created a free masterclass called Stop the Survival Loop After Narcissistic Abuse. I'll leave the link below because surviving them was never supposed to cost you the rest of your life. I'm Angela. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.